Facts about Ham in the Bible with Scriptures. 1. Ham was one of Noah's 3 sons. Ham was the youngest or second youngest son of Noah, alongside his brothers Shem and Japheth. Genesis chapter 5 verse 32. And Noah was 500 years old, and Noah begat Shem, Ham, and Japheth. 2. Ham was on the ark during the flood. Ham and his wife, along with his parents and brothers, were among the 8 people saved on the ark. Genesis 7 verse 13. In the selfsame day entered Noah and Shem and Ham and Japheth, the sons of Noah. Ham was the father of 4 sons. Ham had 4 sons, Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan, each of whom became the founders of significant ancient nations. Genesis 10 verse 6. And the sons of Ham, Cush and Mizraim, and Put and Canaan. 4. Ham's descendants became powerful nations. His lineage includes nations such as Ethiopia, Cush, Egypt, Mizraim, Libya, Put, and Canaan. These nations played major roles in both biblical and world history. Genesis chapter 10 verses 6 through 20. The Table of Nations lists many Hamite nations. Genesis chapter 10 verses 6 through 20. The Table of Nations lists many Hamite nations. 5. Ham saw Noah's nakedness and disrespected him. After the flood, Noah got drunk and was uncovered in his tent. Ham saw this and told his brothers instead of covering him. Genesis chapter 9 verse 22. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his 2 brethren without. Genesis chapter 9 verse 22. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his 2 brethren without. Noah cursed Ham's son, Canaan, not Ham himself. Contrary to popular misinterpretation, Noah did not curse Ham, he cursed Canaan, Ham's son. Genesis chapter 9 verse 25. And he said, Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren. This has been misused historically, but the Bible is clear. The curse was on Canaan, not all of Ham's descendants. Genesis chapter 9 verses 22 to 25. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his 2 brethren without. And Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon both their shoulders and went backward and covered the nakedness of their father, and their faces were backward, and they saw not their father's nakedness. And Noah awoke from his wine and knew what his younger son had done unto him. And he said, Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren. Verse-by-verse explanation and insights, verse 22. Ham saw the nakedness of his father. Ham saw Noah uncovered and drunk in his tent. The phrase saw the nakedness can imply literally seeing Noah naked, a shameful thing in that culture, or possibly something disrespectful or dishonorable beyond just seeing, maybe mocking, gossiping, or a deeper offense. Some interpret symbolic meanings here, but the text is not explicit. Ham didn't cover his father. Instead, he told his brothers, possibly in a mocking or dishonorable way. Verse 23. Shem and Japheth respectfully cover Noah. Shem and Japheth responded differently. They walked in backwards, showing respect and modesty. They made an effort not to look at their father's shame and took action to cover him. This contrast highlights honor versus dishonor, a major theme in this story. Verse 24. Noah wakes up and understands what happened. Noah wakes and knew what his younger son had done, indicating it wasn't just a harmless act. Some believe this implies a greater dishonor than just looking. It might reflect intentional shaming or rebellion. Verse 25. The curse of Canaan. Surprisingly, Noah doesn't curse Ham. He curses Canaan, Ham's youngest son. Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren. This could imply a generational consequence for Ham's dishonor, a prophetic word about Canaan's future, as Canaanite nations would later become enemies of Israel and be conquered. It's important to note, this does not justify racism. The curse was specific to Canaan. Not all of Ham's descendants, Cush, Mizraim, Put, were not cursed. Historical misuse of this passage. This passage has been misused historically to justify slavery and racism, falsely claiming that all black people were cursed. Biblically inaccurate. Only Canaan was cursed, and the Canaanites were a Middle Eastern people, not African. God condemns injustice, and the misuse of Scripture for oppression is itself a sin. 7. Ham's lineage played prominent roles in the Bible. Many famous biblical locations and people came from Ham's line. Nimrod, a mighty hunter and kingdom builder, was the son of Cush. Genesis chapter 10, verses 8 to 10. Egypt, Mizraim, becomes a central setting throughout the Bible. The Canaanites, though judged, were part of many biblical narratives. Ham's descendants were both opponents and instruments in God's plan. While some of Ham's descendants opposed Israel, for example, the Canaanites, others like Egypt, were used by God for refuge, Jesus' family and judgment. Isaiah chapter 19, verse 25, whom the Lord of hosts shall bless, saying, Blessed be Egypt, my people. 9. Ham's line proves God's global plan. The diversity of Ham's descendants shows that God's story has always included many nations and peoples. Acts 17, verse 26, and hath made of one blood all nations of men. 10. Ham's legacy continues through Africa and the Middle East. Modern scholars associate Ham's descendants with ancient African and Middle Eastern civilizations. Theological themes. 1. Honor versus shame. How we treat the vulnerable reveals our character. 2. Generational impact. Actions of one generation can affect the next, though not without hope. 3. Redemption over judgment. Though Canaan was cursed, many Canaanites came to know God, for example Rahab in Joshua 2.